channel. So today is my October TBR. I will be honest, I have probably 10 plus books that I want to read. These are thrillers, these are spooky reads, but I own way more thriller books than, I don't know. I own so many thriller books, and I went to the thrift store again yesterday. I wanted to check, see if they had any books on my TBR list, and they did, which is so exciting. But I will do that. That will be my next video, where I go over the books. I got a huge book haul from the thrift store. They're all newer books from like 2018 to 2022. One of them actually is included in this video because it was on my TBR list for the longest time. I still haven't read books by her, but it was on my list and it was at the thrift store for $6, and it's a brand new popular book. So, without further ado, let's just kind of jump right into my October TBR. Yeah, that's right. I got my Hocus Pocus shirt on, and I got my Halloween Mickey Mouse ears. I am very sad that the Disney store closed. We had the Disney store years ago, back when I was a kid, in like 1995, 1996, something like that. I'm pretty sure it closed before like 2001. Then around 2016, maybe 17, we got the Disney store back, and I was super excited. I would go there and I loved it. That's where I got this. And I was excited to actually buy stuff from the Disney store for my daughter. Not this summer, but last summer they closed all their stores again. So, not too happy about that, because I really was looking forward to taking my daughter to the Disney store because it is so much fun to go to the Disney store. We had a beautiful Disney store. Then the pandemic hit, and I guess they lost a bunch of money. And yes, Disney is pricier to get stuff at the Disney store, but they have like limited edition stuff that you can't get at like Toys R Us or Walmart or any other place, toy store like that. But enough about my loss of the Disney store. Let's jump into this book haul. So, the first book, super popular right now, her newer book, I found it at the thrift store. So excited. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I did find this at their thrift store. So, I had this book in my hand the other day at Chapters. I was going to buy it, but I put it down. I went to the thrift store, and like I said, I got like 15, maybe like 10, 15 plus books, thriller books, at the thrift store on my TBR list. And then some. $5.99. $6. $6. And this is 2022. So this book, it just came out. Somebody already read it. Like, it's pretty much brand new. As opposed to $20, $30 at Chapters. Thrift store. In fact, now that I think about it, I got all of her books at the thrift store. The guest list, her other one, the Hunting Party, I think it's called, and this one. I got them all at the thrift store. So this is on my TBR list for October, called The Paris Apartment. So let's see what this says. Jess needs a fresh start. She's broken alone, and she just left her job under less than ideal circumstances. Her half-brother Ben didn't sound thrilled when she asked if she could crash with him for a bit. But he didn't say no, and everything will look better from Paris. Only when she shows up to find a very nice apartment, could Ben really have afforded this? He's not there. The longer Ben stays missing, the more Jess starts to dig into her brother's situation, and the more questions she has. Ben's neighbors are an eclectic bunch, and not very friendly. Jess may have come to Paris to escape her past, but it's starting to look like it's Ben's future that's in doubt. Everyone's a neighbor, everyone's a suspect, and everyone knows something they're not telling. So I am super excited for this book. I'm happy it was on my TBR list for October, and I found it at the thrift store. This was on my list since last Halloween. I never got around to it. This will probably be one of the first, if not second, books I pick up, because these two books are a little bit more pages, and it takes me a little bit longer, and I had 2 books left in my September TBR that I haven't read yet, so those will probably be carried into October. I'm not going to put pressure on myself to finish them. It's already September 30th, but they're both thrillers anyways, so I'm going to carry them into my October TBR. Why not? The second book actually came out this year. I don't know what the name of it though is. Witches Steeped in Gold by Sinan Smart. Their order divides them, their revenge will unite them. So I got this before in a hardcover before it came out with a softcover, and I'm kind of mad at myself because now the softcover is out and I never did read this. So I should have just waited for the softcover, but that's okay. So I don't really know the names. Oh, I gotta sit. Hold on. Ira Adair has spent her life in a cell. Heir to an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty, she was exiled from her home on the island nation of Isaiah when just a child, but every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carriot grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule. But unlike her sister before her, Jasmine has no intention of dying to strengthen her mother's powers. Sworn enemies, the 2 witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both their worlds. Doyen Carriot. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain, except the lengths Ira and Jasmine will go to win this game. So I'm probably going to start with this one second. Today's September 30th, which means Hocus Pocus 2 is out on Disney+. I'm so excited. I found this book last year on Amazon. Did I read it yet? No. So people I see that this book is not. This is called Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. Apparently this has nothing to do with Hocus Pocus 2. So, great, whatever. But this, I believe, was this one last year? I think it was. No, this actually came out in 2018, which is weird. And this doesn't have an author, it just says Disney. Freeform Books. Disney Enterprises. So I guess this is just like a... Okay, cool. Shortly after moving to California, from California to Salem, Massachusetts, Max Dennison finds himself in hot water when he accidentally releases a coven of witches, the Sanderson sisters, from the afterlife. Max, his sister, and his new friends, human and otherwise, must find a way to stop the witches from carrying out their evil plan and remaining on Earth to torment Salem for all eternity. So this is the first movie. So the second movie is apparently, okay, I think I saw the preview, but like I said, the second movie has nothing to do with the second part of this book. 25 years later, Max and Allison's 17-year-old daughter, Poppy, finds herself face to face with the Sanderson sisters in all their sinister glory. When Halloween celebrations don't go as planned, it's a race against time as Poppy and her friends fight to save her family and all of Salem from the witch's latest vile scheme. So, since I cannot watch Hocus Pocus until my husband gets home from his hunting trip, which he doesn't get home till Monday, Hocus Pocus 1 and this will have to do for the weekend. Not that I'm going to finish. This has been bumped up my TBR list. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. He's the author of the Final Girls group, or the Final Girls support group, I believe, which was a popular book. This book is not new. It came out in 2016. But like I said in my previous unboxing video, not really unboxing, but my haul video when I got a bunch of books from the bookstore, this was the last one at the bookstore. The other chapters does not have any copies of this book, so I'm super excited just because of like the whole cover of this book. I like the whole kind of VHS look, and if you don't know what a VHS is, you're young. Unlike me, I'm old. So if you let me know down in the comments if you Google VHS, because I would really like to know. I'm just curious. But this looks like a VHS. I won't tell you what a VHS is. I'll see if you can figure out for yourself. But if you know what a VHS is, you can still comment. I already read the synopsis of this in my previous video, which I'll link at the end of this video, or in the top, or even in the, not the comments, but the can't even think, comment section. I will kind of link the video as well as I'll link it in this video. This reminded me of Stranger Things, which is why I wanted to read this book. Last but not least, newer book, and people told me that apparently this book has scared some people. There's a comment on this book that says, "I loved it, Stephen King," and because he is the author of horror books and thriller books. And this is a very wide talked about book. I had to get this, called Hidden Pictures by Jason Reculuk. Why do authors have like hard names to pronounce these days? I don't get it. Hidden Pictures. So this, again, I already talked about this book in the same video as this book. Basically, there's a babysitter and a kid that she babysits starts to draw pictures. And the pictures start to become creepier and creepier and creepier, and then she kind of looks more into the pictures, and they're more of something sinister, I guess. Like the little boy knows something and he draws these pictures, and yeah. This is going to be very, very good. Now, the two books that I didn't finish that I will carry into my TBR list for October are The Guest List by Lucy Foley and then The Lion Game by Ruth Ware. I was close. I probably could have finished these, but I ended up, like I said, I read Fable and then I had to read Namesake, which I'm still not even halfway through yet. Now, there's a few, actually, there's one other book that I really wanted to read in October. I don't know if I'll get to it, but I kind of bought it for October, and I have not seen any reviews. If you're a huge horror movie fan, which I am, I love to watch horror movies all October and anytime when I'm in the mood for a horror movie. If you like Saw, this book reminds me of it. The Game by Scott Kershaw. The rules are simple. To save their life, you have to play. So this, I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of Saw. When I saw this cover, I automatically thought of the movie Saw. This book just came out, I believe, in the summertime. Yeah, this is a brand new book, 2022. I don't know if... I always like to see... It sounds like this is his first book. So, the person you love most is in danger. To save them, each player must play the game, a sinister, unknown entity that has a single rule. There can only be one winner. If you lose, your loved one will die. But what is the game and why have they been chosen? There's only one thing of each of them knows for sure. They'll do anything to win. Welcome to the game. You've just started playing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 books on my TBR list for October, potentially. I say potentially for a reason, because I still have 2 other books on my Kindle, art copies that I need to read. One I need to read by November 1st, which will probably have to be snuck in there somewhere. Again, I won't get on myself if I don't finish them, but yikes! What am I doing to myself? Why do I do this to myself? I forgot a book on my TBR. If you want a true scary horror books, I don't know about other authors, but I do know if you really want a creepy, can't sleep, like horror movies kind of books, you need to read a Stephen King book. Like I showed you in my previous videos, I have a ton of his books, and if I didn't have my other books, I would probably do just like a whole October of reading his books, but some of his books are like 1,000 pages. So I might ditch 2 of my other books to read this book, because this book is almost 700 pages, but it may or may not go fast. It depends on my October. It was between this book and a reread of It, but It is like 1,000 pages. It was either this book, The Institute, or Billy Summers. I don't really know how creepy Billy Summers is. I read the back and it seemed more like a thriller than like a scary jump out of your seat kind of book. But I've seen this movie. It's a creepy movie and I haven't read the book. So I really want to read this book. The Shining by Stephen King. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. I've never read the book before. A lot of Stephen King's books have been turned into horror movies. That is also how you know they are worth it. And I've seen all his movies, or all his books that have turned into movies, but I haven't read any of them. The only book that I read was It, which, like I said before, took me like 2 years to read, because I wasn't really much of a reader until like the pandemic, when I started to read more. So this doesn't look like that many pages, but there's like 700 pages. Oh my gosh. 659 to be exact. Yeah. Maybe I will start this book in like the second week of October so I can make sure I finish it. And I still have my 2 arcs. So, but this book, I have to add this book. Have to add this book for the month of October. It's spooky season. And I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 10 to 15 Stephen King books that I have not read on my shelf. And yeah, I need to read at least one of his books in October. So this is what I picked. It was between this one and his newer book, Firestarter, which I believe is a movie on Netflix now also. But I read the back of it and it doesn't seem like it's a horror book, more like a thriller, if that makes sense. Like I said, I wanted to read The Institute this month, but I figured this might be way more scary than The Institute because this is like paranormal stuff that happens. Paranormal stuff scares me so bad. And yeah, I have to read this book. If you don't know anything about this, so it says, scary, serves up horrors at a brisk, unflagging pace. Jack Torrance's new job at the Overlook Hotel is a perfect chance for a fresh start. As the off-season caretakers at the atmospheric old hotel, he'll have plenty of time to spend reconnecting with his family and working on his writing. But as the harsh winter weather sets in, the location feels more remote and more sinister, and the only one to notice the strange and terrible forces gathering around the Overlook is Danny Torrance, a uniquely gifted 5-year-old boy. Yes. Yes. Okay. This book is a must. Had to add this book to October. So excited. And if I do read more books than I said, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 9 books. Almost 10 books. So, wish me luck. Let me know if you read any of these books. If you want to read any of these books, comment any other books that you're going to read for spooky ones. And I will see you guys in the next video.